It's 9:31. Things could get rocky in the divorce proceedings of Sylvester Stallone and his estranged wife, Jennifer Flavin. She filed for divorce after 25 years of marriage, and some sources say this could be a $400 million split. Celebrity divorce attorney and author Randy Kessler joins us with a look at this particular case. It's good to have you in person, Randy.
Good to be back here finally.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let's jump to it. I'll be honest, it is a staggering amount. And nothing's confirmed, right? We don't know exactly how much is at stake here, but it's a whole lot, right?
It is a whole lot, and that's sort of, the nice thing, if there's a nice thing about divorce, is when there's that much, everybody's going to be okay. We have a lot of cases where people's lives really depend on how much they get in a divorce. These folks are going to be okay, whatever the result is.
That's a great perspective to add to this, and it's so true, especially in a case like this. But I'm also reading that it's not known if there was a prenup, but that it's thought that there wasn't, which could really change things in a divorce proceeding.
It could, you would think, and he's been through a couple marriages, right? That maybe he would have thought, I don't want to pay lawyers a lot of money next time, I want it to be pre-decided. If there's no prenup, and at this point, this long of a marriage, it probably would not be as relevant because they've been together so long. I mean, the right thing is divide everything down the middle and then go from there. And of course, we got that other issue of dissipation, right?
Yes. Okay, so what's that? That's another buzzy word that keeps popping up in the middle of all this. What does that mean in a divorce proceeding?
So typically, if somebody spends a lot of the marital money on something that they shouldn't have, it's not fair to the other spouse that I spent all my money gambling or on a girlfriend, and now there's not enough money to divide. In this case, there's still enough money to divide, but I think the wife's lawyers say if he's put a lot of money on the side for things he wanted to do that she didn't approve of, let's consider that back in the pot. Let's divide it as if it's there. Give her credit for her side so that if he spent $3 million, that comes out of his half.
Oh, so is this typical to do in these big, fancy celebrity divorces? Is that commonplace?
It's getting commonplace in a lot of divorces, not just celebrities, because it's a sneaky way to be able to point the finger at somebody for doing something wrong. It may not make a difference, but now you get to talk about what was he doing on the side that she didn't know about.
That is fascinating. It really is. Another thing that got my attention about this case is that Sylvester Stallone had a lot of money before they got married, but he made the bulk of that Sylvester Stallone money that so many of us are familiar with during his marriage, which, I mean, that also changes things.
It does. It's like we represent a lot of people, ball players, for instance. They could work really hard, make a lot of money, and then they get married. In most states, including Florida, if you earn money before you're married, that's yours.
Okay.
But what you earn during the marriage, you're exactly right. And if he earned it during the marriage, that's right there for the court to figure out how to divide. It's in the pot.
Wow. So another thing about celebrity divorces that seems to happen so much, and this is intentional, is that we don't know all the ins and outs. A lot of it's kept private intentionally, right?
Right, because in a celebrity case, their public persona is even more important than their wealth. I mean, his ability to get more jobs, to create more movies, to act again, might be more financially beneficial to him than whatever he's going to divide in the divorce. So keeping his reputation clean, keeping their bad news private, has an extreme value for high-profile people.
You've been around the block when it comes to celebrity cases, period, especially celebrity divorces as well. What do you foresee happening in this particular case? I know you actually know the attorneys of his estranged wife.
I do, and we actually went to college together, and they're really good lawyers. And I think what they're going to do, what good lawyers do, they keep it out of the press if they can. And you'll notice this one, there's not a lot of commenting going on. There's some basics. Let's keep it private. They're going to solve this by themselves. And worst case scenario, they're probably going to have what we call a private judge. Instead of going public in a courtroom where the press can come in, they'll probably hire an arbitrator and say, if we can't figure it out, let's all do this privately, because our privacy, not just for themselves, they've got 3 daughters. And the last thing they need is for their daughters to be reading about it every day in the papers.
Sure, you wouldn't wish that on your kids, for sure.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right. That's how this is going to end up. So you've actually literally written the book when it comes to he's written a book. Tell us about that. I think it's so cool.
It's called Divorce, Protect Yourself, Your Kids, and Your Future, and it's what I want people to know before they come see me. What are the questions? How do I find a lawyer? Do I leave the house? Can we solve this without going in front of a judge or jury? Just the basic questions that I get asked every single day. I just put them down, and it's if you're curious, you're just testing the waters, it's a good read, and it's sort of blog form, just a little bit of information, but get advice. If you're thinking about going through this, or you think your spouse may be, the best idea is to go see a lawyer and make sure you understand the process before it's too late.
Understanding the process. All right, Randy Kessler, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. And you can pick up Randy's book, Divorce, Protect Yourself, Your Kids, and Your Future now. Our time is 9.